I met a gypsy.
So what is next for Daniel Blair? Let's talk about it. Let's plug it. I'm excited for you, bro.
Bro, you want to know how I feel right now? I am so confident that what I have created and what I'm about to offer to the sport is going to be so impactful, and that's what I want it to be. I put my whole heart into this. At the same time, dude, I'm scared shitless, man, because I just quit my job, dude. I'm unemployed. Like I told my wife, I said, You ready for the next one? Because I'm going on corporate, and I, for the first time in 10 years, have not had a job. And I'm scared, but I'm also confident because I do think what I'm about to do is going to change the sport in a positive, and I think it's going to help two things happen at the exact same time, which is it's going to help kids and families do better. And I really want that. The kid that was maybe destined to be a fifth place kid, I want him to win, and I want to help. The kid that was maybe going to be a top 10 if he's lucky, like I was. I got the top 10s, dude. I got 9th in points in 250 Supercross. That's where I got. I would like to get that kid to 5th. The kid that was never going to make Loretta's, but he wants to, and he's like, man, I wish I could be one of them. I want to get him into Loretta's. I want to help him. And the way to do that is to educate. And what I've learned over the last 10 years is that I have lived multiple lives, man. I've got so much experience and so many things that were right, but so many things that were so wrong that I got to watch and witness and live myself. And the last few years with these families, it's been like a crazy tornado of information that I've helped give and helped get back. And all of that is accumulated into who I've always been meant to be. I'm meant to be an educator. I can communicate, I like to study, and I care about people. And I love this sport. And if you put all those things together, then my place in this sport is in amateur racing to help families get through it. From their very first race on a 50 to that futures race and that combine race when they're getting their shot. And I want to help that whole journey. That's what I want to do. And so what I did was I resigned from KTM at Minios when I was there. I was battling this idea. I had this idea and I wanted to do it, and I was scared, and I'm talking to producer Joe. He's my partner on everything. He's my business partner. And I'm like, dude, I think I got something here. And he's like, well, start putting it into motion. Why don't you start playing with this idea? And at Minios on Monday morning while I was there, I woke up and said, I'm doing it. I'm not holding back. I'm moving on. I'm going to resign today, and I'm going to come out in 2025 as a new person in the new role that I was meant to be in the whole time, which was a family's guide through amateur racing. And so I put my head down for the last, I don't know how many weeks. I've been getting up at 4 a.m. every single day with a pen and a paper, old school, and just writing all the things that I've learned, all the notes, the good and the bad, and started to trim it, cut it, mold it. And I created a curriculum. And it's not a curriculum where you have to go to school and take a test and like that. It's an education curriculum. It's a video series of every topic you could ever imagine that families don't know what to do about. It's the whole shebang all wrapped into one to help families just get on that program and get on that timeline that could maybe get them to that gate, but on the same time they could do it a little mellower.
Yeah.
Because
more
the temperature is hot in amateur racing, and that's because families care and they're passionate and they want it so bad, and that's good. That I fuel off that. That's why I loved being with them in that. But the temperature can come down 10 degrees by being more educated and knowing more. It makes things more understandable. And I think that if everyone brings it down 10% energy-wise and replaces that with education and knowledge, everyone's going to get better, and their experience along the way is going to be better. Families are going to stay in it longer. They're going to be fans when they're in their 50s watching Supercross because their experience as a kid was good, and not every kid gets that. And not every family gets that because they're so invested and they're so all in, and they don't always know what to do.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes with like families and the emotion, like it's very hard for them to see the forest from the trees kind of thing.
Big time. And I can tell you in the last 2 years working with like the 40 raddest families ever, these are the top kids in the country. What I learned about these families is that they are insanely passionate, insanely invested, and for the most part, even them don't really know exactly how to get through it all the way. These are the best kids on the gate. And I was
willing to do the work,
willing to do it all and throw everything at everything. And they still would come. I'd have kids on the elite 250 team come up to me, and families would ask a question. I'm like, you don't know what to do with that? And they're like, No. And I'm like, God, how are you guys so good? And it was a combination of passion and talent and all those things. But they really are, they're driving through the fog the entire time. And I want to clear the fog out. And so anyways, yeah, I flipped the switch. My Minios just called my wife like I always do. I said, yeah. Press send, and I resigned, and I spent the last month and a half pouring my heart out into Supercross University, which is where I will be moving forward. Supercrossu.com, that's the website, and it's a education and there it is. It's an education and guide for amateur families who want to make it to the top. You want to be Eli Tomac? I'll help you. You want to make it onto the gate at Supercross? I'll help you. You want to make it to Loretta's? I'll help you. And I do it through a video series, through a podcast series, through a video breakdown series where I break down Supercross stuff too. We have a mastermind group where I do live Q&As, personalized questions. And then, so it's pretty much look at it like a big giant macro guy. Yeah, so that's the curriculum.
So yeah, you've got race tips, pro tips for racing smarter and faster, career decision, Blair's breakdown, amateur spotlight, off the bike, on the bike, the motorcycle. And I'm assuming that you're just going to keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. It's like endless.
Bro, I have 25 lessons that I was able to create before we launched, and they're roughly 15 minutes long. I think we're going to be probably in the 80, 90 videos by the time I'm done, and I can't even believe that because I started thinking maybe I can get to 40. And then, dude, there's just so much. I'm a weird note guy. Like, you know the notes app in your phone? Dude.
Just full.
Bro, I have like 100 folders. Not just 100 notes. I have 100 folders. And it's because I've tracked everything I've ever done in my life. Like if something happened at the race, dude, I walk back to the pit in my notes because I need to remember later. I got to go over and help another kid, and I got to go over here, and I'm ping ponging, and I can't remember everything. So I'm taking these notes all the way through, and all of a sudden I realize, oh my God, I have a phone filled with a curriculum that is very current and fresh to me. All built though off of my own racing experience as an amateur, where we did a lot of things wrong. I mean.
There wasn't even a way to do things right back then, almost. You know?
No, but you know what's funny? Because now what I know,
now that you know what you know,
I could have benefited. Oh my God, so many different decisions would have been made if I would have known what I know now. And that's, man, I feel like I got to the point where I'm like, I'm coaching kids at next level, and I'm managing all these families, and it's awesome. But there's the rest of the pit. There's like the rest of the rest of the world, the rest of the country, all these kids out there that are they're investing just as much.
Dude, you can do like Coming to America. You can do like How to Make It from, like there's...
I'm pretty good at that one.
There's so, yeah, exactly. There's so much that you could do with this. This is cool. This does not exist anywhere else.
And it's my calling, dude. I wanted to be a broadcaster, and I'm a good communicator, and I was an entertainer, but I was educating the whole time too because I wanted to teach people about the sport. I wanted them to know things they didn't know. So it was like constant education. And then in the coaching at next level, I mean, dude, I love the hands-on coaching. I love working with these kids because I ride with them sometimes, and my kid's racing now, and I love being at the track, but it's very boxed in because you're stuck at that track and you're stuck with just a few kids, and it's not enough. There's more out there that I want to help. And KTM was the same way, man. What a gift I had with being able to manage these sick families and be at the very top of amateur racing and be on that podium over and over and over with these plates, number one. But I don't really think that's where I'm meant to be. I think I'm meant to be in the rest of the pit with the families that are trying just as hard but don't know what they're doing, and they're driving through the fog at 100 mile an hour, and they just need Siri. And I can be Siri for them. I've lived it all, and I know all the wrong things more than I know the right, and I'm like, you know what? This is me, and I'm not holding back anymore. I'm not going to be afraid. I had enough courage to leave the broadcast when I knew it was over. I'm going to do it again with KTM. I know it's time to be over, but this time I'm not walking into a box that will ever contain me, ever again. I'm free now to be all in and send it as hard as I want to live with no restrictions, no leash, and nothing to hold me back ever again, because I don't operate well like that. I can operate in a box. I can't operate in a small box. And this will never happen here because it's mine. It's my life. It's my whole, I mean, I'm 42. I've been on a bike since I was 30. It's 37 years of experience, and it's mine. And I don't have to ever be told no again. And all I have to answer for is producer Joe. It's the best. I mean, one of the best people in my life. I mean, he's my business partner for 10 years. We've never had one disagreement. We've never had one argument. Weirdest thing ever. And here I am, I'm chasing these dreams all over the place. I'm sitting here going, dude, I got the best business partner in the world supports me. He's just like my wife, dude. He just supports me and he just goes along for the ride, no matter how bad I take him through it. And now we have this, and I'm emotional because I'm free, dude, and I get to do what I want to do, which is share everything with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer in a box, and I never will be again, ever. This is it.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.